our first class. So let me welcome you all to the online English class. I hope you all are doing good. So let's start the session. And I would like to know about you also in detail that we can have a chat later. Today, before starting the class, I would like to introduce the textbooks for this academic year. You have two textbooks. The first one, main course book, that is Hornbill, and the second one, which is supplementary reader, that is Snapshots. Let's have a look of the textbooks. This is your Hornbill textbook and this is your Snapshots supplementary reader. And today we are going to discuss a poem from Hornbill textbook. The first poem, that is A Photograph by Shirley Towson. Now let's discuss about our today's topic. A photograph. The title A Photograph will be familiar to you all, isn't it? Why do we take photographs? To cherish our memories, right? So photographs are a medium to help us to cherish our memories. It will stay with us forever. So today we are going to discuss the topic A Photograph by Shirley Towson. So let me ask you a question. How many of you happen to see your father's or mother's childhood photograph? Yes, many of you. And you might be thinking that how they look like before and how they are now. So these changes happen and we could identify those changes through these photographs or memories. Now let me tell you about the author. The poem A Photograph was written by Shirley Towson. Shirley Towson was born on 20th May 1924 in England. She was not only a writer but also an editor who came under Celtic Christianity. In this poem, the poet shares her memory about her mother. This poem is a tribute to her mother. You can have a look here at the back. She has written about a tribute to the poet's mother. And this poem has three phases: childhood, adulthood and death. These three phases are clearly explained in the three stanzas. She describes about her mother's childhood, adulthood and death. And in the last stanza, she expresses her grief that she had lost her mother. This is what she explains in the poem. So that is the general introduction of the poem. Now let me discuss the theme of this poem. The poem contrasts the eternal state of nature and the transitory nature of human beings. You can see here the poem contrasts the eternal state of nature and the transitory state of human beings. Eternal means immortal. So what the poet is trying to say is nature is immortal, living forever. But human beings are transitory. Transitory means short span of time, living not at all permanently, mortal. So we human beings will undergo the process of death once after when we are born. But the nature is immortal. I hope you have understood the theme of this poem. Let's discuss about the first stanza of this poem. Let me read for you. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. In this poem, the poet describes about a childhood photograph of her mother. The poet got this photograph and now she is cherishing those memories of her mother. Her mother, when she was a child, she had gone to a beach with her cousins and uncle. And now the poet is cherishing those memories. The cardboard shows me how it was. Cardboard here symbolizes or refers as the photograph. So this photograph of the poet's mother shows how it was, how she looked like when she was a small girl. The two girl cousins. So when the mother had gone for a sea journey, two cousins also were there with her. They went paddling. Do you know what is paddling? Paddling is the activity of walking in shallow water. In the beach, when we go there, in the shallow water, we used to walk. That walk is considered as paddling. Each one holding one of my mother's hands. So the cousins were holding her mother's hands. And she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. And her mother, she was the eldest among the three. And nearly she was of 12 years at that time when they had gone for the sea journey. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born, and the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. So in the next line, what the poet is telling, all three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. So the uncle had taken the three girls to the beach and now he asked all the three to give a pose to take a photograph. So all the three were standing near the beach and they were giving a beautiful smile to take the photograph. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. So now the poet identifies her mother when she was a child. When the mother was a child, she was very sweet. She looks very beautiful. And these things happened before the poet was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. In the photograph, we can see the background which is there as the sea, which appears less changes even now. But in the photograph, her mother, who was a small girl at that time, is no more now. So in the last two lines of the first stanza, she says that the human beings are mortal and they undergo different changes, different stages in their life. But nature is immortal. So through this photograph, she proves the evidence that human beings are mortal but nature is immortal. Now let me read the poem once for you. The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, and she, the big girl, some 12 years or so. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born, and the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. So now let me tell you about the poetic devices in the first stanza. Go through the first line. The cardboard shows me how it was. The word cardboard actually refers to the photograph. So, the word cardboard has a different meaning here in the poem. In the poem, it refers to the photograph. So, such a technique is known as allusion. Allusion is a figure of speech in which an object or circumstance is used indirectly. The audience has to interpret and understand its meaning, which is nearer in the poem. The word cardboard here is used or symbolizes a photograph. So it is an indirect reference to another word, that is allusion. A-L-L-U-S-I-O-N, allusion. So this is the first poetic device, allusion. The next poetic device, in the fifth line, all three stood still to smile. Stood still to smile. Look here, stood still to smile. S, the consonant is repeated, that is alliteration, which is much familiar to you all. So, stood still to smile is alliteration. The third poetic device in the last line of the stanza, washed their terribly transient feet. Terribly transient feet. Ter sound is repeated, so it is even alliteration. The main poetic device is transferred epithet. Transferred epithet means transferring the epithet. Let me explain that. The poet says terribly transient feet. So the feet is transient, means temporary. The imprints, the prints that we leave on the sand when we walk is temporary. But the sea which appears less changes. So which is short span of time is temporary, that is the feet. So this transient is transferring to the feet, that is transferred epithet. So I hope you have understood the poetic devices. 3 poetic devices we have learned today: allusion, alliteration, transferred epithet. I hope you have understood the first stanza of the poem. Now let's sum up all the points that we have discussed today. The poem, A Photograph, was written by Shirley Towson. She pays a tribute to her mother through this poem. In this poem, she describes the 3 phases of human life: childhood, adulthood, death. She also expresses her grief when she lost her mother. These points we have discussed today, and 2 new words, that is paddling, the activity of walking in a shallow water without wearing shoes. Next, transient. Transient means not permanent. So I hope you got a clear idea of the theme, the introduction and the first stanza of the poem. Let's discuss the next stanzas and the poetic devices in the next class. Thank you all.